What was some of the most memorable studio sessions that you can remember?
All those sessions were great. The Styles Beyond 2000 Fold sessions were fantastic. Like we didn't actually even know we were recording the album then because we were just messing around and we didn't have any money at all. So we would go to this place called Douglas Burger. We would go to Douglas and get a big bag of seasoned fries for like $1, and that's what we would eat like the whole day. We had nothing and just smoke cigarettes and drink and eat Douglas fries. And it was like probably the best time of making music, you know.
Right. What were you guys searching for sonically on that project?
Uh, I don't know. I think a little bit trying to merge all of our heroes, like a bit of like Tribe Called Quest, Leaders of the New School, Organized Confusion, Divine Styler, House of Pain. Like we were trying to mesh all that because that's basically our genetic makeup was all that.
Right. How was that beat selection process? You had a few producers on there. How was that trying to pick what beats to place on this album?
Well, Vince Scully was the main producer, so the way that would go is he had a regular job, and so but I lived at his house in his guest room, uh, and he would go to work, and I would he had like thousands of records in the garage, and I would sit there and just dig through records all day long. And then he'd come home from work, and I say, "Oh, I found this or I found that." Sometimes he'd just do it on his own, and uh, and that was it. Like we talk would come over, and we would just pick one, and that's that. And then we had Exile. Exile did the first. He did the intro, I think, and then Cheap Shot. Cheap Shot did Easy Back It Up, and then Bilal did a song on there, and then Divine did like two. So that was it. I mean, we were getting beats from the homies. That's it.
Right. What was it like working with Divine Styler?
It was great. Divine's been my mentor since day one, and I learned a lot by watching him. And we're fortunate to be under his wing at that time.
Right.
Even into my later career, like my last album that I put out, that was entirely produced by Divine Styler.
Wow. How were the singles received from that project? I believe there was three or four singles from that. How were they received by the general public?
Like I said, I don't know. I mean, I guess they were good, but we didn't have the internet or anything, so I didn't have any idea. It wasn't like it was getting mainstream radio play. It'd be on a. The only way I knew it was doing pretty good because like we kind of landed with the skater kids, and they would put them in their skate videos, and then we ended up on Tony Hawk Pro Skater, and so the skate world kind of broke Styles Beyond, to be honest. So that's the only way I knew it was working a little bit.
Right. From beginning to end, how long do you think it took to create that project?
Mm, maybe 4 or 5 months.
What was the idea behind releasing a censored version?
Well, because when we put it out, so Takbir is Muslim, and his family's Muslim, Divine's Muslim. His father put up the bread to put out the record under the condition that we wouldn't cuss on the record.
Mm,
So we wanted to respect that. But there is two different versions. There's a clean and a dirty.
okay. When that project was finally released, what do you remember most about the magazine reviews?
Uh, well, okay, so like I own a pub and a restaurant. I own a bar restaurant right now, and the first review we ever got was horrible.
Mm.
And so when I opened the restaurant, Chief Shot had it framed for me, and it's just hanging in the urinal. You can see it. They were like, "Oh, these dudes sound like a mix of House of Pain and Shaquille O'Neal, and like all this kind of stuff." Like, um, they're just ripping us. So there were some good ones, and there were some bad ones. That was hard to get used to at first. Like, you know, because I was self conscious about it anyways. I was like, everybody's gonna hate this. Like, I don't know how to rap yet. Like, I know how to like freestyle and shit, but I didn't know really know how to make a song.
Right.
So you know, but I got used to it. It was fine.
What were some of your most memorable tours around this time, and some of the lineups that you went out with?
Around that time,
Yeah.
well, the first thing we ever did outside of LA was in Canada. We went to Toronto and did a couple shows there, and the group Len brought us out. They did the song "Steal My Sunshine," and they weren't actually a pop sensation yet. They were like party promoters and stuff like that. So they had Divine Styler come out there, and he said only if I could bring my little brothers. So they said okay, cool. They brought us all out, and then we ended up being really good friends with Len. Still friends with them to this day, and that was really cool. We met tons of people through that. All the Canadian rappers, Mocha Only, and all them, and we still talk to this day. Governor Bolts, shout out to Governor Bolts, Stubbs, um, you know, Tachichi. So yeah, that was a cool one. And then later on, when we did Fort Minor with Mike Shinoda, that was like those were major tours right there, and that was super fun. That was 5-star luxury tours.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. Once that album does its thing, there's like a 5-year gap between that and your second album. What's going on with the group between those 5 years?
Well, we were having record label problems. So the record label that we were on with the Dust Brothers, they ended up selling or something like that. They got bought or sold. Anyways, we got put on Hollywood Records, and at the time that was like Britney Spears and like people like that, and we were like, no, we got to get out of there. This ain't gonna work for us. And so it took a while to get out of that deal, and we eventually did, but it took a while. And we weren't really doing much of anything in that time. We were, recording a little bit, but I don't know. It kind of seemed like that was the end of it. Like it burned us out. We were like, oh well, guess that's that.
Right. What point do you get with the guys and start talking about the follow-up Megadeth?
I think an opportunity presented itself. Um, Cheap Shot had something, or I don't know. I don't really remember the details of that, um, but yeah, we had an opportunity to put another record out, and we took it, and we put the record together. I don't love that record to this day. I think I was pretty angry when I was doing that record. I wasn't really in a good place right there, but whatever. We got the label situation and we put it out. It was a sucky situation, but whatever.
Right. What trial and error did you learn from the first album and that you applied going into the second album?
I don't know if we learned anything. I think that's our problem. Like, I think we, I think we've always stuck to our guns, and we're very stubborn, and we're not doing this, and we're not doing that, and we're not performing with these people, and we're not going to do these type of records. So we stuck to ourselves, and we were in the valley. We were in the San Fernando Valley, and not a lot of rappers. There's a lot of rappers from there, but they won't say it because they're embarrassed about it. But we didn't really collaborate with anybody. I mean, we hated record labels from the jump. Like every single record that we had has been horrible. We keep doing them. Uh, I don't know. I guess we didn't know how to fully do it ourselves. And we had the most success when we did it ourselves, like before any record label. Like we were moving records. We moved like 60K like out the trunk, and I don't know who told us we needed a record label, but you know, that was it.
What was the creative process like as opposed to the first one? Was it pretty much the same? The chemistry still the same after 5 years?
No, it was different. When we did 2000 Fold, we were really young. Like we weren't even 20 years old, So, you know, we were still naive and really didn't know song structure, and we were willing to try anything. And then on Megadeth, we were older and the sound had changed a little bit. We tried to keep it as close to the original as possible, but we just grew up and the sound was different.
Right.
But it was the same process, give us a beat, we'll rap over it.
You had a few guest features on this one, Apathy, self-titled, as well as Four Zone. How did you meet these guys?
Apathy knew Cheap Shot at first, and they were just on the phone one night talking about this and that. This was back during like internet chat groups and stuff like that. Uh, AOL chat rap, hip hop groups. So they swapped information. They were talking, and then Cheap Shot put me on the phone with App, and we just chopped it up, whatever. And then we said, yeah, we should do a song together, and that was it. That was the first song we did together, and we just been friends ever since.
Right. What was that reception like? Much better than 2000 Fold?
No, I don't think so.
Mm.
No, 2000 Fold was the one. I don't hear anybody really talk about Megadeth.
Were you guys able to tour off this project?
Yeah, we did. I was trying to think what we did. Yeah, we went out with Swollen Members and Cage. Uh, we did a little run with them off of that.
Okay. In 2005, you connected with Mike Shinoda again for his group Fort Minor. Um, what was that recording process like?
That was pretty much Mike steering the ship. He was just like, "Hey, you want to rap over this? Okay, cool, let's do it." Um, or he would give us like a batch. I remember one time we had to go to New York for something, and he gave us like 6 beats, and he was like, "Yo, can you have these done by the time you get back?" So I remember writing them on the plane, which was weird for me because I'm not really a fast writer, but like I thought it was a good opportunity. So that's it. We just kind of followed his lead on that and just filled in the blanks where he needed us to.
Right. What was touring with Fort Minor like?
Like I said, that was 5-star luxury. That was,
That was the 5 star?
yep, double decker buses all over the world, touring with 50 Cent, G Unit, uh, China, Japan, like Thailand, petting monkeys in the street, like you know, just acting up. So yeah, that was super cool.
You guys signed to Mike's label, Machine Shop Recording, and released a mixtape, Fraser Tag. How did you guys link with DJ Green Lantern?
We just paid him, and then he just did the mixtape. We don't know him like that, but shout out to Green Lantern. I met him before. He's cool.
Right.
But yeah, we were on Machine Shop, which is Warner Brothers. We were on a subsidiary of Warner Brothers. Well, because of that, so we got signed to Shinoda's label, but we were in Fort Minor and Styles of Beyond at the same time. So we got a separate deal for Styles of Beyond, and we had a little budget, and back then, like, mixtape ain't gonna get heard unless Green Lantern or Clue or somebody does it, Canon. Uh, so yeah, we had a little connection to Green Lantern, and so he did the mixtape for us.
Right. At what point do you guys talk about recording the third album, Rosetta Beach?
Oh, that's when we got our record deal. We got our record deal, so yeah, we had to cook up an album. But again, with the record labels, it's like, so when we first signed to the label, like, everything's going, like, people are loving it. We got a whole team on our corner. We think we're about to pop off because Fort Minor just did really good. Like, Remember the Name was one of the biggest songs of that year, and we were on it. So the record label was like, all right, Styles Beyond's next. But then, as record labels do, they went and fired 400 people, and we lost like most of our team when they got fired. And then the new people that came in didn't really care about us at all, and so kind of just sat around until finally we were like, get us off the label. So Mike got us off of Warner Brothers.
Mm. Now, on that project, you were able to get a beat from Jay Dilla. How did that come about?
I well, um, our A&R had a connection to, I want to say, Peanut Butter Wolf, and they sent over a beat tape. We actually picked like three, and then they ended up being used by other people. Like Q-Tip got one. I forgot the name of that song. I think it's called Move. I don't know if you ever heard that one. It's got the
Mm-hmm.
the Jackson 5 Michael Jackson sample. That we
Right.
originally got that beat, and then they were like, "Bad news," Q-Tip got it. So, you know, yeah, that's the way that came about.